So almost 2 weeks had passed since Miliastra Wonderland was released, and I have some thoughts about it. And in this video, I'm gonna review this new Genshin Roblox mode, cover the good, the bad, and the greedy parts. Although, I would say, don't treat this video too seriously. We're in the dead period of Genshin, just waiting for new stuff to happen, and I did spend some time in Miliastra checking things out. And to be honest, it's not the worst thing, but boy do I question some of the choices made for this mode. Anyway, let me tell you all about it after this quick message. This video is brought to you by Nikkei, and as someone who played this glorious gacha game for years, let me tell you, things are about to get crazy. I am of course talking about Nikkei's 3rd anniversary, which marks the climactic Goddess Assemble storyline, in which we finally get to witness the ultimate showdown, uniting every faction as one, and to kick things off, it even comes with a brand new opening animation. But let's not forget what matters the most. We're getting an insane amount of anniversary rewards, which includes 220 free pulls and a free SSR chime. Not only that, but the game's story mode difficulty has been reduced, so this is the perfect time for anyone to join. There's also new characters like Nayata, who looks drop-dead gorgeous both in her default and gacha skins. Meanwhile, fan favorite Liberalia makes me thankful the fact Jellyfish exists, because it seems like she took quite the inspiration in this very combat-ready position. Although, I don't know about you guys, but Red Hood is still one of my favorites, and luckily, she's returning with a new costume that lets you appreciate her even more. Now, this anniversary also introduces new permanent content. The Surface beta mode finally lets you explore the abandoned by humanity surface, and there's also a new base expansion minigame that's getting added alongside tons of quality of life changes. So make sure to download Nikkei and join over 45 million players worldwide by using my link in the description or pinned comment. And thank you so much to Goddess of Victory Nikkei for sponsoring today's video. Alright, so I posted a quick poll before making this video, and it seems at least people who watch my videos aren't the biggest fans of Miliastra Wonderland. Maybe it's because my channel is focused around guides and reviews, so I don't know. Maybe you guys are built different. I mean, you're telling me you don't like Roblox in your Genshin? Anyway, I'm just joking here, but I do want to start off by first pointing out the positive things I've encountered in this mode, and then we can move on into some more spicy stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, it's absolutely clear that this mode rests on the shoulders of creators. Like, dude, I went into creator mode, and I couldn't even make a single thing happen, and I had trouble leaving the mode. That's how dumb I am. But when browsing Reddit, I've started seeing all the cool stuff smart people are coming up with. Like, someone made Genshin inside Genshin, where you can log in and do commissions. That's pretty funny. Another person created an FPS to, of course, mow down poor hilly churls. This other one recreated Attack on Titan City, and flew around with their we have at home ODM gear type of stuff. And of course, who could forget the classic test? If you can create something, can you create Doom on it? The answer from Miliastra was yes. Anyway, point is, only a week or so had passed, and people are already showing off their creativity. So that's the biggest positive in my opinion, to see other people's wacky creations. Now, moving over to actual participation in Miliastra, I did find matchmaking to be pretty easy to do, and the current list of curated game modes are decent. My favorite one so far has been Bridge Battle, although I suspect this has to do with my rotted brain from mobile games. Another fun one was Blade Soccer, or whatever it's called. This one definitely feels like the most popular one right now. I can matchmake with anyone in like 10 seconds or so. And then finally, I tried out some dude's rage-inducing agility test. I swear, I would fall off every time until I realized I could enable walking to reposition myself, and then look at that. I actually managed to beat it. Overall, I had a bit of fun myself here, and I do appreciate the fact Miliastra doesn't take up too much presence inside actual Genshin. It's at the bottom of the menu, although the shortcut icon is a bit annoying, and I had to remap it. I am also not sure how much space Miliastra takes up on the device, because supposedly it's just reusing Genshin assets, so it shouldn't be much, but I totally get it when someone has limited space and they don't care about this mode. But anyway, that's pretty much it when it comes to positives. So now, let's talk about the less desirable things. Now, just to be clear, I am fully aware that Miliastra is still in beta mode. A bunch of more stuff will be added, including the actual Genshin characters you're supposedly going to be able to bring inside Miliastra in Luna 4 version. But I'll be honest, even if it's open beta, there's a lot of things that I want to give feedback on, and also critique. So let's start with the most weirdest one, the monetization. Holy hell, what happened there? Are you seriously telling me that, first of all, you cannot pull on the featured banner at all as a free-to-play? And all I can get are these stupid clocks that reduce the price of the pulls? Wow, thanks. And no, I didn't buy any of these Chronal Nexus. I do think the Halloween-themed costumes look really nice, but man, I just can't see myself spending on them right now. And here's the thing, the mannequin and mannequina are treated as two separate entities, meaning you either pull on the mannequin banner or switch and go for mannequina. It's crazy how greedy this move is. And don't give me some kind of a lore excuse that they are both treated separately so it should make sense. No, it really doesn't. And then there's even a more obscene part. If you pull a second copy of this costume, then you get to unlock its alternative color. And then the third time you get it, then you can obtain some kind of a shard that can be used at the shop to redeem either of them. By the way, when looking at the shop, it feels so convoluted. There's like a billion currencies you can buy, reuse, exchange, and whatever. I mean, okay, there's like a couple of ways you can move stuff around, like basically you can get geodes by exchanging craftable currency, and then you can obtain 4-star costumes by using other currency, but still, it's too much. Now, as a free-to-play Miliastra player, you can pull on the standard banner, and you can obtain a bunch of its currency called Geode of Replication by doing some tasks. And since I also bought Genshin's Battle Pass, it automatically unlocked the Tier 1 or something pass for Miliastra, which also gives some geodes and a couple of cosmetics and crafting resources. But yeah, this banner, in my opinion, is so weird because you're pulling for blueprints, and then once you obtain the item, you don't actually own it yet. You have to spend these resources, which I'm not even going into too much, but basically you can obtain them as a free-to-play and then use them to craft the actual costume piece. Yeah, it's beyond of a convoluted mess. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I do like the customization. It looks really fitting, and I'm sure those who have their inner Fortnite aura inside them will be satiated. But the point is, the whole monetization just feels messy and way too much stuff is going on. I didn't even mention this, but you can even just go into some shop tab and buy costumes with premium currency, which I honestly think should have been the norm, and at least a little bit of this currency should have been given away to free-to-play people, so they can save it up over long term and redeem some cool stuff by playing this mode. Well, I guess if you have generous friends, they can gift you stuff in here, which is nice. And also, keep in mind, none of the cosmetics are needed to play, they are purely optional, but it's hard to ignore the way it works. And still, as I said, I think the fact both mannequin and mannequina do not share the majority of costumes is just not a good idea. Anyway, these are my thoughts on the monetization. Now I want to bring some attention to actual Miliastra game modes. Okay, so first of all, I'm not sure if Genshin is using different netcode, but in lobbies, I am still experiencing lag and delays even when it shows I have good ping. And then in a good number of games, hit registration seems wonky sometimes, but it could be the actual programming inside the game mode. I'm not sure yet. But overall, it just feels a little too floaty at times when playing the games. Speaking of the games, the quality drastically varies. Like some are genuinely fun, and others make no sense how they ended up on the featured page. I mean, in all my life, I haven't played Roblox or other creative modes, so maybe that's the norm, and obviously it's just the first 2 weeks since Miliastra went live, but yeah, I imagine the onboarding process of new players has to be done really carefully here, because a lot of games just have confusing rules, or too many rules, and I've seen so many people drop out of games. For example, this roguelike mode, which I actually kinda enjoyed, and it's made by wait, Zayok's team? Okay, that's pretty interesting. Anyway, so to start this mode off, you had to press G on the keyboard. I don't know what you would press on mobile. And guess what? Even after telling this to someone in chat, they couldn't press G, and they didn't understand, and so they just left. I know, I'm just talking about playing with randoms here, but it was a funny moment for me. Look, overall, I would describe my experience with Miliastra gameplay as, janky. It has some moments, but I'm sure a lot more fleshed out games will come out once creators really sink their teeth into the creation tool. And I really respect that, and I hope the rewards program from Hoyo will offer good compensation, because I imagine creating these modes will take weeks if not months. By the way, I noticed in the lobbies you can use emotes, but not in game modes. That's such a huge missed opportunity in my opinion, and I hope this will become a feature later down the line. And also, you can take photos of yourself and use it as your profile pic in Miliastra, but not in Genshin itself, which is weird considering you can use mannequins inside Genshin. I'm sure somebody would love to have a custom pic of their mannequin inside Genshin and show off to their friends. Why not let them? I mean, look, I could keep pinpointing out these small things out, but overall, I feel like Miliastra right now just feels truly in beta mode. And on top of that, it's got one of the weirdest monetization models I've ever seen. Not to mention how crappy the free-to-play experience feels in terms of gaining new costume pieces. Most important of all, there's like no way to get Primo Gems for playing Miliastra, and I suspect for a lot of people, that's a deal breaker. I mean, technically if you go participate in this web event, which I think I first saw it in one of my beginner missions, you can go and gamble enroll on this webpage for a chance to win 20 primos, which I did once, but it's a web event, not an actual activity inside Miliastra, even if the web event is tied to Miliastra. Confusing, I know. And yeah, I haven't even talked about the mannequins themselves, but I'll be honest, I tried this unit out on Creator Experience server, and it seems like you could kinda use it as a glorified VV Shred support, but other than that, it's not a good unit to use in teams. I do like the fact you can ascend its level based on your Miliastra rank. I heard some people dislike that, but I think it was a pretty cool idea. But other than that, I don't think I'll use my Mannequina in World Exploration. Aloy is already on my team. Anyway, so here's my first impressions review of Miliastra after a couple of weeks. Can't say I expected much from it, but I am kinda interested to see how things will work out once you can bring over actual Genshin characters into the game modes. And of course, as I said many times before, I do appreciate the people who put in the work creating these game modes, and you guys will be the lifeline of Miliastra. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.